Michael Wacha and Jack Flaherty just dominated. Let's break them down on Fantasy Baseball today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. Today is Tuesday, May 16th. I am Frank Samfel, joined by Scott White. And let's talk about the two pitchers who performed very well on Monday night. We'll start with Jack Flaherty, who had his best start of the season, 7 shutout with 10 strikeouts to just 2 walks, 17 swinging strikes in that outing. Michael Wacha took a no-hitter into the 8th inning up against the Royals. He wound up going 7 shutout, 1 hit, 1 walk, and a career-high 11 strikeouts. Scott, who would you rather have, Jack Flaherty or Michael Wacha?
Well, I'd rather have Jack Flaherty, but if you had asked me 2 days ago, I wanted nothing to do with Jack Flaherty. So that is the nature of analyzing baseball, because what Jack Flaherty did here against the Brewers was about as good of a start as you could have. 10 strikeouts and 7 shutout innings, 17 swinging strikes on 105 pitches. And of course, he had been just absolutely dreadful before then, after several injury-plagued years. For good reason, our trust in him had completely run out. So does he deserve to regain it after this performance? Well, not completely, but again, this is about as good of a start as you could have. So knowing what his upside is, provided you're not putting too many eggs in that basket, I think you got to take another shot on him. What I saw from him is, okay, his velocity was up a bit from his season average. It wasn't totally uncharacteristic for Jack Flaherty, though. Looking at the highlights, it seemed like he did a good job of changing the eye level of the hitter with his fastball and his 2 breaking balls. Just maybe figured out a better method of attack than he's shown this year. Of course, he also threw 2/3 of his pitches for strikes. Entering this start, Jack Flaherty's strike percentage was only 58.1, which is just dreadful. So it may be as simple as, when you get ahead in the count, you can do more things. And that's the key. That's been the key for Jack Flaherty all along. We just didn't know it. But, with known talents like he is, sometimes all it takes is a light switch moment that locks it all back into place. Some kind of very minor, trivial seeming thing that gets him back on track. And hopefully this was it for Flaherty. Certainly not going to bet on it, but I'd rather pick him up than Wacha if they're both available. That said, Wacha's been impressive of late. 1 earned run in his last 3 starts combined, only 6 hits in 19 innings. Obviously just 1 hit in this start at Kansas City. His changeup has been particularly impressive this year. It's been impressive before. I still think, though, that the potential for disaster here is pretty high. And unless he can have a few starts where he's averaging more than a strikeout per inning, where he's getting more than 15 swinging strikes like he did in this one, if we see Wacha do that a few times in a row, okay, he's doing something different that demands our attention. But right now, I would say he's a pretty low priority pickup still.
All right, we spoke about who to add, who to drop. We'll fire up the drop-o-meter. 1 being you want to hold on to this player at all costs. 10, you could drop this player anywhere. Alek Manoah rocked. Once again, he was up against the Yankees. 4 innings pitched, 5 runs allowed, a career-high 7 walks with 2 more homers allowed as well. Scott, the ERA is up to 5.40, the whip 1.80. Where is Alek Manoah on the drop-o-meter?
So still pretty low, like a 4. And I say that, though, knowing that there's basically nothing under the hood that I could point to and say, this is reason for optimism. Alek Manoah is struggling in every way, kind of like Flaherty. It began with him struggling to throw strikes and walking way more hitters than he has in the past. But he's still a 25-year-old who, from the moment he set foot in the big leagues in 2021 until this year, had known nothing but success, was a must-start pitcher in fantasy. And so there's still that hope he has his own light switch moment and gets all the way back on track. So he's a sit for now, but not a drop, is Manoah.
Entering the season, Grayson Rodriguez was if not the top, he was one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. He allowed 8 runs over 3 1/3 up against the Angels on Monday night. and the ERA is now at 6.57 with a 173 whip. Scott, same question. The drop-o-meter on Grayson Rodriguez.
So I'm going to put this at about a 6.5 or a 7. He has done nothing yet to lead me to believe he belongs in my lineup. Does have a lot of potential. It's pretty obvious watching him pitch, but he just seems to be learning the finer points of pitching right now, and maybe it'll click for him soon in the near future, at some point in the near future. But I think there are higher priority pickups at this point, including Jack Flaherty, for instance.
Okay. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Audacy app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.